All right, let's set the scene. You've got a city cloaked in night, secrets buried deep under the concrete. And then the call comes. The kind of call that yanks you right out of whatever life you were pretending to have. In this session recap, we're going to see how a simple night of downtime just completely spirals into a full-blown conspiracy. And it all kicks off with the disappearance, right at the very top.
So, the city's entire power structure? Yeah, it's teetering on a knife's edge. Because the seneschal we're talking, the prince's key advisor, the second-in-command, is just gone, vanished. And in a world filled with predators like this one, a power vacuum isn't just a problem, it's an open invitation for a whole lot of bloodshed.
And this is how it all kicks off. Not with some formal, fancy summons, no. It starts with the city's top enforcer, Sheriff Blackstone himself, rolling up in an SUV that's just riddled with bullet holes. I mean, the guy looks like he literally just drove through a war zone. His message? It's simple, it's direct, and there's absolutely no room for argument.
Okay, Section 1, a shot in the dark. Our team gets pulled from whatever they were doing and thrown right into the middle of this crisis. And this isn't a job you can say no to. It's an order, straight from the top. And believe me, the clock is ticking.
The stakes get laid out with brutal speed. The sheriff basically says, look, my car's shot to hell, the Sencha's gone, and I'm betting the Anarchs did it. And to handle it, he gives the team his full authority. Just like that, they're deputized, they're his personal troubleshooters for the night.
And this is such a perfect snapshot of who these people are when they're not in crisis mode, you know? You've got Frost, the scholar, buried in his occult research. Then there's Alex, the courier, always one step ahead, getting a burner phone. And Eric, he's the man of faith, just wrestling with his beliefs in this messed up city. So you have three totally different people who are all about to get thrown into the exact same fire. Now this moment is so crucial. The sheriff is handing out weapons from his arsenal, and he practically shoves a knife at Eric. And Eric's response? It's not just him saying no thanks to a tool. It's a full-on statement of who he is, and it immediately cranks up the tension. I mean, in a world this violent, he's basically betting everything that his faith and his words can be the sharpest weapons in the room.
All right, Section 2. Welcome to the furnace. So their first lead, it takes them right into Anarch territory. But this isn't some shady back alley hideout. Oh no, it's something way, way stranger, especially with Halloween right around the corner.
So, just for a little context here, who are the Anarchs? Well, they're the opposition. They're rebels. They totally reject the Camarilla's ancient, super strict rules. Think of them as individualists, a constant thorn in the side of the establishment. And right now, they're suspect number one.
So get this, their destination is this place called the Sloth Furnace. It's an old industrial building that's been converted into this over-the-top, circus-themed haunted house for Halloween. I'm talking clowns, strobe lights, the whole shebang. A serious investigation happening inside a haunted house. It's the perfect bizarre backdrop for the chaos they're about to walk right into. And then, deep inside, things get very, very real. Amidst all the fake blood and the jump scares, they see something that is definitely not part of the act. They witness a vampire feeding on a human and then embracing them, creating a new vampire right there in the open. So the question is this just part of the show? Or are they watching a blatant violation of the masquerade, the most sacred law they have? And Eric, he doesn't hesitate for a second. He sees this as a crime against, well, everyone, and his faith demands that he act. He immediately confronts the figure, his voice just booming with righteous fury. He's ready to escalate this whole thing right here, right now.
But Alex, she's the pragmatist. She immediately jumps in, trying to pull him back. She's like, dude, this isn't our space. They don't play by our rules. She sees it as a distraction from the mission, but it's so much more than that, isn't it? It's the core conflict of the group right there. When does sticking to your principles get you killed?
So, Section 3, Riddles and Revelations. After that incredibly tense moment, the haunted house reveals it has another layer. To even get to the Anarch leader, they have to play a game. Turns out, these Anarchs have a real flair for the dramatic.
The team gets split up inside this maze, and they're forced into a series of puzzle rooms. They have to solve riddles to get through. They start with a classic, you know, the one about the creature that walks on 4 legs, then 2, then 3. But the final test, it's a deep cut of vampiric lore, a question about the sworn enemy of the Bruges clan. This isn't just a test of brains, it's a test of how well they know the dangerous world they live in.
Moving on to Section 4, a message from nowhere. So they get through the maze, and they finally come face to face with the anarchist leader. But this little meeting, it's about to be interrupted by a player that absolutely no one saw coming.
The negotiation goes nowhere. It's a total dead end. The Anarch leader, a guy named Torrance Ubridge, swears he has nothing to do with it. He even says he wants to help find who did. But, of course, there's a price. He wants more territory. And that's a deal our team has zero authority to make. So yeah, they've hit a brick wall.
And right at that moment, just as they're hitting that wall, a third player makes their move. The projector screen in the room, which had been playing a movie, just flickers and goes dark. A new broadcast hijacks the signal. Somebody has been watching them. Somebody knew exactly where they'd be.
And this chilling message plays. It shows the missing seneschal, bound and gagged, and then a voice, the kidnapper, delivers this one cryptic line. What is buried stays buried, and these hills can talk. So come find us. That one line changes everything. It wasn't the Anarchs. This is someone else entirely.
Okay, on to Section 5, Confronting the Rats. Now, armed with this terrifying new clue, the entire mission pivots. They trace the broadcast signal, and guess where it leads? Straight into the territory of the Nosferatu, the rats of the vampire world. And this next part unfolds with just brutal efficiency. The trace leads them to the Nosferatu lair in a convention center basement. The sheriff confronts their leader, Marco, who makes the very, very foolish mistake of trying to bluff him. The sheriff ends that conversation with a single punch. And Marco's terrified subordinate? He immediately cracks, giving up 2 possible locations for the seneschal. Just like that. Bam. New leads.
So now they have a choice to make. The informant gave them 2 potential locations. Lead number 1, an abandoned psych ward. Lead number 2, an old industrial site, mine number 84. Both sound plausible, right? But one of them has to be a red herring, a trap. The question is, which one?
And this brings us to Section 6, The Hills Can Talk. This is where it all clicks into place. Instead of just blindly rushing off to one of those 2 locations, the team takes a beat. They stop and think and try to connect the dots.
And this is the breakthrough moment, thanks to Frost. He puts aside the tip from the Nosferatu and goes back to the kidnapper's actual words. These hills can talk. And then it hits him. It's not a metaphor. It's a place, a local road named Talking Hills Lane. He realizes the info from the Nosferatu was a complete red herring. The real location is an entirely different mine, one that's located right on that specific road.
So they've solved the riddle. They've bypassed the trap, and they know where to go. But the biggest questions are still just hanging there in the dark. Who is this mysterious new player powerful enough to kidnap the seneschal and play everyone against each other? And, more importantly, what exactly is waiting for them inside that abandoned mine?